This is the Victoria Will Podcast, episode 8. My mom and I tried to record earlier. In fact, we did. We recorded an entire hour together. It was really fun. And then when I clicked out of the camera, it didn't save. So we're going to try to record again on Monday. It's Wednesday. And so I thought I'd try and make sure my camera was working and see if I can record one for myself. So anyway, that was a bummer, but it's okay. We can have the same conversation again, and it'd probably be better. Maybe it'll be a little distilled. Like we'll have had more thoughts about the things that we talked about. So, which means I got to show you all my projects by myself without her because she went home. Yeah, it's been a long time since we recorded. My mom and I haven't recorded since November, and I haven't recorded since, I think, mid-December when I did episode 7 and did all those little videos one day at a time. And I didn't record anymore in January or anymore in December because so many people upload videos and Vlogmases in December that it just didn't seem like I wanted to put stuff out for people when there was so many other things to see. So it's been a very, very rainy, it's currently raining right now, very, very rainy January here in Pacific Northwest in the Puget Sound. Raining for days and days and days straight, and raining like going through like a series of sprinkling and then like steady rain and then downpouring and then back to the sprinkling and then going through phases over and over and over again for days. Like we're in Hollywood and it's like a fake rain machine. But yeah. So trying to keep my spirits up and knitting a lot, and I'm hustling for a friend. So there's a fireplace. I don't think you can see it. It's back there. Fireplace and lots of tea. I ordered a whole bunch of yogi tea online because I bought like 7 different ones and all this stash tea, and having 5 to 7 cups a day, sitting in front of the fire, working from my computer, and yeah, trying not to let the dog out all day long, so he's soaking. Anyway, yeah. The dishwasher is going behind me, so if you hear that whirring, that's what it is. The dishwasher is happening, just real life. Since I recorded, I have finished my Mystery Advent Cal. The tea's ready. Hold on, hold that thought. All right, I have my cup of tea now. My Tool Yarn and Wool mug. I'm drinking the Kava Stress Free, I think, from Yogi. It's kind of like a spicy caffeine-free herbal tea. That's really great. But I was saying my Mystery Advent cowl from Homespun House is done. I'll have to show that. It's actually at my house. I don't have it with me. But that was really lovely. Finished that before the end of the year. And then I also finished the Barndom shawl by Stephen West that I really like. I purchased a kit for this in 2016. I started it in 2017, and then I didn't pick it up for about 2 years. And I finished it in about a week. So I was really pushing hard at the end of the year to try to finish as much stuff as I could. You can kind of see that there's a line where the gray gets lighter and then has little speckle colors in it. And I had run out of the gray in the original kit. And I used a black Trillium fiber, which is a Portland, Oregon hand-dyed yarn company, to do the rest of it. And I really love it. It's a good size, too. It's not too big. I know I have another shawl on already, but yeah, it's really nice. And it's soft. I love the colors. I love the contrast in the colors. I love the lines. It's a really great design. Some of Stephen West's designs are so bright it's hard for me to see what's really going on there, but they're everything he does is really cool. And so it was fun to do, and I can't believe it's done. I know I think I've talked about that on Instagram. I can't believe I actually finished it because it was on my whip list for so long. I have a handwritten list on a piece of 8.5 by 11 paper that I taped to the wall by my desk, with all of these projects that were older. I started that list in like 2018, and there's only one thing on it left. So a couple things I just crossed off that I decided not to make, but most of it I actually finished. So I'm so excited that only the Tencel sweater by Emily Green is left, and I'm going to knit that, I think, in February. I'm really excited that that list is almost over. And then my other job after that is just to not add lots of cast-ons, like lots of big cast-ons to my personal stuff. Yeah, I talked about that in the last episode a lot, about trying to motivate myself to stay focused, and I think it's working. It's hard doing it over the long haul. It's easy to do it like a short 2-week period of time where I'm busting out a lot of things like I did in December. It's hard to take it for the long haul. Like me finishing my Forager sweater by Emily Hoffmann at beautiful green, Lopi yarn held with mohair that is done, and I have worn it, and it's great. It's blocking on the bed right now, so it's a little bit wet still. I have to flip it over actually and let the underside dry. But yeah, it's done. And that I knit that the first 2 weeks of January. I was just solidly knitting that, and made me a little crazy. But I got it done. One of the sleeves I knit in 24 hours because I knew I could, and then I actually finished it on the day that I had projected to finish it, because I have my knitting planner that I kind of look at week to week and from a month at a glance, and I kind of decide, what do I think I could get done, and then I look at it every week and reassess. So I actually finished it on the day that I said I would. And now I've got a bunch of smaller projects because I needed a little break from big things. So one of the projects that I took on was to take out my, there we go. This is the Barndom, no, sorry. This is Ryandotta, my hat pattern, my very first pattern I did. It's a little too dark at this spot. It's so pretty, a blue though. It's too short. This is a thinner weight worsted than the local color fiber studio I used to design that hat with. So I just knit the pattern exactly as I had written it, the same number of rows for a different thicker yarn. And so this was too short. It just fits me like a skull cap does. And that doesn't look good on my head. And I actually don't think it looks good on most people's heads. Kind of makes this look like an egg, a blue egg. So I've always wanted to pull it out and redo it. So I got myself back took the crown out, and I'm going to make it maybe 2 to 3 inches longer. I'm going to put a pom-pom on it. It'll be really cute. I have lots of yarn to do that with. And what else? I finished a pair of socks last night. I stayed up till midnight, finishing the Rose City Rollers by Orange Knits, which is a free pattern on Ravelry. She has a bunch of shorty sock patterns. This is the Jubilation colorway from a Homespun House. It's one of her Christmas colors. It's probably not on her website for sale anymore, but I think it'll probably be back next November and December. This is her DK weight non-superwash merino called Dale. I wanted this colorway really bad. I wanted to make socks with it, and I just ordered whatever she had on her website. So these will definitely felt and probably pill. They're already a little bit abrased from me just wearing them in my house shoes, but it was just a fun, quick project. I started at the end of January or end of December, and so I wanted to get it done last night. I hadn't done a heel flap and gusset in a really long time. I think I'd only done one once before, and it was really hard. And now, it's been 10 years probably since I did that. Maybe 7 years since I made those socks. And I understand knitting so much better now that all I had to do was sort of watch a Very Pink Knits YouTube episode just to see the process really quick of what the steps were. You do this, you make the heel flap, and then you do little short rows, and then you pick up the gusset and just see the shape visually through video, and then I followed the directions in the Orange Knits pattern. And that was it. I was able to do it, and it looks great. So I'm really pleased that something that was previously scary was easy. I knit one. The other one that's on my foot is got a shorter cuff, and I knitted it with 56 stitches, and it was a little bit big, and I also made it a little short. So this second one, I made the cuff a little longer and made the sock a little longer also. So this one fits a little bit better, but they're very, very close. So I just decided that was good. I was just going to make two, not redo the first one, which I thought originally maybe that would be the case. But I'm going to put it back on. Yeah, I'm really happy with it. Yeah, so that's a pair of socks. Finished. It's the first thing I finished in like 2 weeks. And I know that's not a lot of time, but I love finishing. So it's been hard to knit on a sweater and not get anywhere. Oh. But I have another Homespun House sock, this time with Crema. It's kind of pinky beige with neon blue and little bits of red in it. And there was even this bluing that did sort of like a crescent with little stars. I thought that was cute. I'm knitting a basic Kjerste Swanky socks pattern. This is my first sock pattern that I released. I'm using a size 1, and I think I cast on 64 stitches. So I have several pairs of these already that I finished previous episodes. The blue pair and that pumpkin spice color, and I love them. They fit great, especially the pumpkin spice one. I think the blue one I had, one sock was knit on 2, one sock was knit on a 1, so they were a little different. But the pumpkin spice pair, I love that gauge. So hopefully, I think that's pretty much what I'm doing here. Yeah, I like a 1x1 rib, or sorry, a 2x2. I prefer a 2x2 rib because 1x1 ribs for me, at least on cuffs of sweaters, the knit stitch gets opened up because you switch back and forth every stitch. You're switching from one to the other. Not as tidy, but if you do 2x2, then the knit stitches can snug up to each other and it just looks better. So I'm probably always going to do a 2x2 or 2x2 with socks. Sweaters, I'm still not committed to always doing 2x2 because I can do a short row, I can wrap and turn and start knitting on the inside. I know that's sometimes hard to imagine, especially if you don't know what a wrap and turn is. But you sort of do like a semi-short row and you start knitting inside out. And you're going round and round so that your pearls that you're making on the inside actually are the knits on the outside. And it, for some reason, makes the rib more tight. The V's are, the sides of the V's of the knit stitches are not as opened up. So anyway, this is the first one of this sock. And then I'm also knitting, I am a sock squad member of Farmer's Daughter Fibers Thought Club. And this is the colorway that we got in January. This is a superwash nylon, I think 2575 merino and nylon yarn. And I decided to do the Pebbles and Pathways sock pattern by Hey Brownberry, Marcella Smith, her pattern. It's really cute. It looks really long, but actually it fits. My mom and I have the same size feet. It's for my mom. And it fits me. Even though it looks so long, I think it actually, some of the length actually gets pulled horizontally. So it does fit. And actually she was here earlier when we were trying to record, and I told her she needed to try this on. I forgot. I really needed her to try it on so I could know if I needed to continue to increase. Oh well. I'll have to go to her house and have her put it on later, I guess. But anyway, yeah, these are for her. I am looking forward to finishing this first one so I can start the second one. These are knit toe up, so I had to do the Judy's Magic cast on, which is really cool. I love knitting socks and doing different constructions. I love the fact that I did the heel flap and gusset on my Jubilation socks, that I have my Kjerste Swanky sock going for the Crema pair, and then I'm doing a totally different pattern for this. It just makes it interesting, but it's not really complicated because it's a small piece of knitting that you're doing different things on. So it's really fun. I am currently swatching for the Takka hat by Caitlin Hunter. Takka means fireplace, I think. Fireside. This is Narwhal. Right? Yeah, Narwhal shelter, Book and Tweed shelter. And I'm going to do for the bottom, and then I have the dark blue Old World colorway for the top, which has little bits of red and lighter blue in it. And so obviously I'm not swatching super fast because this was days ago. So this is sort of I really want to finish those socks for my mom first before I spend more time swatching that hat. And then I am putting together a design for a shawl with a Homespun House rose gold. This is her non-superwash fingering weight called Dale, also called Dale. It has a really subtle, it's a beautiful light pink with subtle variations in it. So I'm hoping to start that today. I was swatching and figuring out stitch patterns, which stitch pattern I liked, and how I would fit the stitch pattern into the shaping of the shawl. And I did that last week, and that was really fun. I used my charting software to visualize. I often want to visualize what I'm doing before I start knitting it. I mean, obviously I knit a swatch and I blocked it because now that'll help me figure out how big to make each section. But I kind of also like drawing and doodling and using the software to try to figure out try to get as much information and decisions made before I cast on, so that I don't frustrate myself. Yeah, so I got pretty far with that last week, and that was really exciting. But of course, it's Wednesday, and this is the first time I'll be able to get back to working on it. So it does take me a while. It's been almost a week since I worked on it last time. So that's why it takes so long to publish stuff for me, because I don't get to work on designs every day. Yeah, that's that. And then, am I working on anything else? It's 3 pairs of socks and the hats. I don't think so. Okay, now I'm sitting in the other part of the room where the light is very bright. So I can show you these colors. So Molly from Homespun House decided that a lot of her old colorways she was going to retire. So she's got some new colorways. I have a couple of them. But I also recently bought some colorways that are probably never going to be dyed again. So she still has lots of old colorways in the shop too. So if you see something today, you should rush over there and order whatever she's got left. This is a plump merino, which is my favorite sock yarn. In Hawking, which I believe is probably named after Stephen Hawking. Purple and whites and pinks with a little bit of green. These are going to be socks. Probably Kjerste Swanky socks. And this is a soft sock skein of Homestead. This one is tawny and light brown with little speckles of blue and purple that I just love this colorway. It's so nice. It's getting washed out a little bit. It's definitely more brown than it looks on screen. But yeah, this will probably be a pair of socks too. What a surprise. I did get some singles from her. This is Crema, so it's the same color as my socks. Kind of went a little Crema crazy. browns and whites. I don't know if there's a lot left of this colorway in the shop, but there's also neons in there, a little purple, little pink with the coffee brown, creamy pink. Yeah. So I have her singles base, which is super soft, and then I got some oatmeal to go with that. So maybe a shawl or a cowl in the future for these ones. I don't know. It's definitely going to be a design though. And Disco Taco, which is white and green with these bright speckles of many colors. Yeah, this one's super cool. This will also be socks. This is also plum merino. I like it. And her new colorways, the Melodrama, which I had to have. This is this super saturated dark one. It's got greens and purples and pinks and blues. Yeah, with little speckles of black. This is a good one for winter too. And then her colorway called Hard Feelings. This is a white sort of gray base, a little bit of oatmeal in there with birthday cake speckles. Yeah, this is super cool. This is also plum merino, also for socks. This is a really great one. This particular skein too. I really like that. I think that would be really fun to make socks out of. My Old World and Narwhal shelter for my Takka hut. Shelter has a particular, smells really good. It smells very, it's like sheepy and metallic-y. I like it. And then the last skein I have to show is the February Farmer's Daughter Sock Squad colorway. And this is a merino cashmere nylon. This is a very rosy, saturated rosy pink with blacks. And there's a little bit of yellow and red speckles that are smaller, maybe a little purple in there. Yeah, I just got this the other day, so I have no idea what sock pattern I'll use. I don't know. Yeah, I have to think about that. Come up with something. There's a lot of sock patterns, and there's also the book coming out, the Line book of socks with 52 sock patterns in, and they look so cool. And I know that doesn't come out till like end of February and stuff, but I might just wait till then. So, yeah. My I guess the last thing I want to say is my Meet Cute shawl. I think it's going to come out in February. I've shown it on the podcast before, but it's just so cool, so big. I'm excited to use it as a meditation blanket because I went to a meditation the other day, and I took it with me, and you just sort of put it on your lap while you sit. I don't actually hold my hands like that. I hold they're just here, but yeah, it was really nice, and I mean it's definitely wearable as a shawl. It's definitely big. My neck's a little sensitive, so it doesn't really like that much weight on it, but it's probably going to be more going to the beach and being in front of bonfire, wearing it around my shoulders, taking it to meditation, wearing it on my lap when I'm on the couch or in the car. I always have a blanket in the car for when, well, it's the ferry ride, really. There's a lot of periods where it's nice to have a car blanket, like the car's warming up and your legs are cold. And so I put the blanket on my legs before the heat can really actually heat the vehicle up. And then when I'm in the ferry line, which I take the ferry at least once a week. So, and I sit there for 20 to 30 minutes each way, knitting usually, and listening to an audiobook. And I can get cold because the car has to be off. So it's nice to have a blanket on your legs. Yeah. And so this will definitely be used in that way. I love the seed stitch. You can see it, the texture of it, even on the camera. It looks so good. So I definitely I've been thinking about doing more of this combination. Like I could take this to many, many levels of, I could do a shawl of a smaller weight shawl, like a DK or a fingering weight version. I could do a cowl. I was thinking of doing leg warmers. I could do gloves. I could do all the different types of accessories. Because I really love it. Seed stitch and brioche together are so fun. Yeah. And there's going to be, I believe, 10% off of the Custom Woolen Mills soft spun medium weight yarn that I used. They're gonna, I think, give 10% off when the pattern's released, which is super nice. I talked about the price of the shawl before to get the yarn. And it's, if you live in the US and you get the standard dyed or sheep shade colors of this yarn, it's something around $7 a skein, which is really inexpensive for a bulky weight yarn. You can buy the natural dyed skeins, which are much more expensive. They're probably 20 something. It's 25 Canadian, so US usually I take off like I estimate in my mind like a third or a fourth of the price to get to US. Yeah. So if you go the least expensive route, I think it'll be to ship to your house something like $75 to make this, which is a really good deal for a bulky weight project of this size, you know. So yeah, it's really cool. It's in testing right now. I have 6 testers, and it seems like everybody is using less yarn than me. So I will definitely note in the pattern how much yarn I used and how much yarn everybody else used, so that people can choose whether or not they want to buy the full 9 skeins or if they want to risk it and go for, I think it'll probably end up being just 1 skein less, most people, but we'll see. Yeah. I don't know if there's anything else. Yeah, I have dinner with friends later, and I'm gonna sit down and maybe cast on that rose gold shawl. Should be fun. And just relax in front of the fire and try to take it easy and not feel so glum on another rainy day. I go to farmer's market every Sunday, and for the previous last Saturday I was thinking, well, what's the weather going to be like tomorrow? And I laughed out loud really hard, like, oh, of course it's going to rain, because it's rained every day for the last 10 days. Of course it's going to rain. And the last 3 Sundays had been so rainy, and very few people came to farmer's market. You know, it's January, it's raining. It's not a fun experience. And actually, the next Sunday, a few days ago, it was really nice out. And farmer's market was really busy, and people were coming out so tired of being cooped up that farmer's market seemed like a great thing to do on a Sunday morning. So it was really nice. That was just a temporary break, though, because now we're back to the rain. There was a little bit of sun yesterday too, but it's falling right now. We don't get snow really in the winter. We kind of get a snowstorm every once in a while, but pretty much just rain. Okay. Thanks for watching, and happy stitching. Bye.